first what we have. So these are the 18 verses of the Song of the Sea. Truthfully, to be honest, if you look in the Chumash at the Song of the Sea, I have it here for you, so I have to get over to chapter 15 for it. So we're skipping right away to chapter 15 because there's a lot in Beshalach, but 15 is where they're singing, the children of Israel are singing the Song of the Sea, and then Miriam and the women sing it also, and that's also quoted there with the same lashon as is for the men. At any rate, here's what the song looks like. So just to give you a little picture of it, if you see the Pesukim are sitting in a little pattern that looks like bricks in a building. Here's a brick, space, there's a brick, stuff like emptiness, because it's meaning like the waves in the sea, so to speak. And that's what the song is represented like, and that's what it's represented like in a scroll also, I believe, and certainly like that here. But it turns out that pasuk number 19, which I did not list, also has that brick pattern. So you'd say, wait a minute, must be that that's the song also. However, even though it has that pattern, if you look at the last verse of what I'm calling the song, Hashem Yivloch Le'olam Va'ed, is that pasuk number 18, Gematria 376. That pasuk, I don't have it listed there. But that says, Hashem will reign forever and ever. That seems like a nice ending to a song.
Exactly.
Because Hashem's reigning. The next pasuk is going to talk about, the horse of Paro, something about, and his riders, is thrown into the sea. Well, it already told us that way back in the beginning. It's kind of like repetitive. So even though it is part of the song per se, it's not part of the song of giving us any new, special information. So and also it says, and the Israelites walked on land in the heart of the sea. Well, that's what they said earlier in chapter 14, 2 more times. So this is again repeat of what we already know. Nothing great learned out here. So some rabbis don't call that the song, and I don't call it the song, but if you like, of course, you can certainly sing it. And I don't know what they do in shul. I don't remember if they sing that line or not. But certainly, it does look like the brick pattern. At any rate, I don't have it for my gematrias here, because it doesn't help out with the gematrias at all. All right, but here we go. So the first verse is really not the song at all of it. It starts with it. It's on the page right towards the bottom. Al yashir Moshe b'nei Israel et asher hazot la'Hashem v'yomru lemor, which means, then Moshe sang, and the children of Israel. Moshe and the children of Israel sang this song, the song, which is the song of the sea, Hazot, this song, La Hashem, to Hashem, Vayamru lemor, and they said, sang. And they sang it, sang. But that's not a song. That's telling them I'm going to sing a song, Little Mary and the Little Lamb, but I'm not singing it yet. I'm just telling them I'm going to sing Mary and the Little Lamb. Until I sing it, that's not the song. So this is not the song. So the song really starts at the Aznach that you don't see because I didn't put it in there, with the next words, which are Ashir al Hashem ki go'aga sus barachbo ramah vayam, which means I will sing to Hashem because He is exalted, greatly exalted. Horse and his rider is thrown into the sea. That's the actual song. So that's where I'm starting my gematria that I'm going to quote in a moment from. When I wrote the number for verse 1 gematria, that's the whole verse starting from Az Yashir, which I really don't need for the song part, and we're going to subtract something. But for the moment, that's the gematria that I did. So if you look at the gematria total on that page, you'll see a total for the whole second column. First column just says verse number. Second column says 41,626. Well, that number is almost meaningless, because all it is all the verses of the song and that extra little part in line 1. So I took the liberty to subtract the part that's in bold there, because it's important, because we're going to take that away, because that's not the song. So I wrote that below. In the first verse, the words in bold are not part of the song. Their gematria is 3406. So I'm going to take away from my total of 41626 this 3406 to show you where this number came from. And this number now, which is part of verse 1 and all the other verses up through verse 18, and the total is 38220. Well, it's nice. It ends in a 0. But its factors are amazing. Its factors are 70 times 546. Now, who knows here what 70 is? 70 is What?
The nations,
well,
the souls
yes.
that came into Mitzrayim.
Correct, but more importantly for us, it is sewed. So it means mystical.
Sorry.
Secrets. Thank you. Right, you're right. It means nations also. And it's yain, which is, what's yain? Yain is drink. No, not ayin.
No,
yain.
the seder, the concept.
Yeah, right, the concept. But it means yain. Yain is secrets. When I drink wine on Purim, wine goes in and secrets come out. That's a statement in the Midrash. So therefore, that's correct. So therefore, secrets, sod comes out because it's the same gematria as yain. So it means yain, but it's important to us, it means sod. And the other number, 546, is also important because it's the sum of, it says below, the sum of the Rosh Tevos and the Sphira. So if I added every Sphira, just the first letter. So what's the top Sphira? Keter. Very important Sphira. It's here in the Psalm, by the way, a number of times. Keter, gematria 620, but its first letter is a Chaf. So I take that Chaf gematria 20, and I add all the other first letter gematrias to it. My total is 546. It also happens to be Yitzhak, Yaakov, and Yosef, three great guys. So therefore, that's very important. Two Avot, and then Yosef thrown in for good measure too. And it's also equal to this same number, 38220, 21 times 1820. Now I didn't write that below, but 21 happens to be Ekya, as in Ekya Asher Ekya. I am that I am, or whatever that saying is. Every time I think of that, I think of Popeye the Sailor Man. Because I yelled that out once in the theater when I was a kid, and everybody cracked up in the theater, but then I felt really bad. I mean, there were Jews and non-Jews. It was a theater in our neighborhood in Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm a kid, I'm like 16 years old. So I was a little religious, but not so much. Sitting in the theater with Cecil B. DeMille, and, they have, God speaking, whoever the actor was that said the voice. But anyway, God speaking says, I am that I am. And I said, and I know that I am a Popeye the Sailor Man, toot toot. And I said it out really loud in the whole theater while everybody cracked up. Rose was not with me. She did not get to witness that wonderful moment. This is before I met her. And she probably never would have gone out with me. But at any rate, everybody, I was a big shot. Everybody cracked up in the theater. But then I felt bad because here I was saying something bad about, in a mocky way. I think I was punished later in that thing. But anyway, whatever. So this is 21. And 1820 happens to be the bottom 5 Sefirot. If you take Tiferet down to Malchut, all those 5, we don't have a picture today, that's 1820. It's 10 times Yaakov, very important number. But let's get back to the actual gematria and letters and words that are here. So the gematria, you may notice I didn't bold them, but there are some verses here which have repeated gematria. In fact, there's 2 sets of repeated gematria. First of all, verse 4, whatever it says, and verse number, I remember what it was, and now I don't see it. 2, 3, 1, 10, thank you. 10 have the same gematria. How often does that happen? Well, it happens whenever the verse is the same, obviously, but the verse is not the same. In fact, verse 4 happens to say, let's see if I can find it here. Verse 4, the gematria doesn't factor that one, I think it's a prime number, but it does have an interesting verse. So let's see what it says. So verse 4 says like this: Paro's chariots and army he threw into the sea, and the pick of his officers were mired in the sea of reeds. That's what it says in 4. And verse 10 doesn't say anything like that at all. Well, but it's related. You blew with your wind, the sea enshrouded them. Well, that's similar, and sea is covering them. The mighty sank like lead in the water. So it's related, but it's not identically the same. It doesn't have the same words in Hebrew at all.
And in 4 there's 10 words, and in 10 there's only 8.
That you talked about before, but you don't have as part of the sea. But the 19th verse has the pattern of the bricks.
Right.
And half of that
like that
is this, so it's like the third mention of
right, of the same stuff. Yeah, correct. That's correct. Very good. And another one is this pair, which you look now at verse 6, and then verse number 15. They have the same gematria. Again, 2 pairs sitting in just 18 verses. That's pretty interesting, and they're not the same verse again, so let's see what they say, but they might be related. 6 says, your right hand, Hashem, is glorified with strength. Your right hand, Hashem, smashes the enemy, and that's number 6. And number 15 says like this: with your kind, wrong one. Then the chieftains of Edom were confounded, trembling gripped the powers of Moab, all the dwellers in Hanan dissolved. That doesn't even sound like the same at all, but that happens to be the same number, 1386. So I found that amazing. And there's two more things. Also, the last verse that we're talking about is the last verse, really it's 18, but 19, really the end of it, is 376 in Gematria. That's the same as Shalom, peace, the Gematria of Shalom. Why would that be? Because Hashem will reign forever and ever. When that happens, obviously we're going to have peace everywhere. We won't have UN or anything like that, right? We're only going to have peace everywhere. And then, this is not on your page, but I'm just going to tell you, I didn't mark it in any way. It's kind of hard to make it marked up like this. But verse 2, after that beginning of the song, down to verse 17, not including that last one I just said, and not including the first verse, all those ones there, which are how many? 16 verses, adds up to the number of letters. We're in the letters column now, 613. Isn't that amazing? Also, like relating to the 613 letters. But I have a better one for you. So I have the totals there. I never put this in before, but now I did. If you look at all the song, now remember the first verse